Officer Hawk. 1023. Over.
She claimed she was an only child. I am her sister.
Sy het haarself Nelson Mandela genoem. She called me baby brain.
She called us racist.
They are everywhere. In magazines, television, streaming servers, cable, Twitter, and even in your news feed.
Hey Paps! There they are. The paparazzi I hired.
I get 1 tier left off, go! Give me 3 seconds.
Cut. Take 2.
I get 1 tier left off, go! Give me 3 seconds.
Presenting the ex-royals who abandoned their royal duties in Britain for a private life in America. Megarella and Despair, the self-declared public property. Although they were well off by ordinary standards, Forbes last year pegged their net worth at $10 million. And when they brokered a deal with Netfluff for a $100 million trasherthon of the royal family, they claimed the stakes were too high to pass.
They launched their new 8-part series on Netflix on their great love story, and it seems how the royals were so terrible to them. So if you want to see very rich and privileged people complaining for cash, playing the victim for hundreds of millions of dollars, this show is for you. Here's the trailer.
No one sees what's happening behind closed doors. I had to do everything I could to protect my family.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
They sold their souls and followed the money.
Hey Paps! There they are. The paparazzi I hired.
Racist. Who knows?
I know a con artist when I see one.
Give me your liver.
While the majority of the population may never earn $1 million in their lifetime, the pair have continued to push a victimhood narrative about how miserable their lives really are. They have tried to get those they consider less fortunate than them to feel sorry for their unfortunate, millionaire lifestyle in a mansion with 16 bathrooms.
A high tide raises all ships.
shadow, the support, the plan BI was brought into the world in case something happened to Willie. To provide, if necessary, a spare part to him. Kidney perhaps. Blood transfusion. Speck of bone marrow.
Give me your liver.
So, the agony and the soulful faces and the near tears and all this is really being sold as an attack on the royal family, of course. Is that how it seems to you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's been their whole bit since they left the royal family. They want to paint it as an institution that has treated them badly, that is essentially rotten to the core.
My father used to say to me when I was younger, it was like that for me, so it's gonna be like that for you. It doesn't make sense. Just because you suffered, it doesn't mean your kids have to suffer. Quite the opposite. If you suffered, do everything you can to make sure your kids don't suffer.
The royal family.
In those months when I was pregnant, concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And
Who is having that conversation with you?
Well, and it doesn't really stop at the royal family either. You see in that trailer piles of newspapers, this idea that a rabidly racist press hounded them out.
What do you make of this today? This new rewriting of history. Anyone who described Meghan Markle as difficult, by the way, Meghan, that was like virtually every single person who worked with her here in the UK, was actually apparently calling her.
You know what? I wouldn't necessarily call her the B word, but I would definitely call her the C word. Clueless. She's utterly clueless. I am so sick of her tired, off-point, irrelevant musings about her non-problems. Let me give you some perspective, Dan, okay? She lives in the state of California, where they have approximately 160,000 homeless people. They have a homicide rate that has reached an all-time high in the past 15 years. They have fentanyl on nearly every street corner now where children walk, which used to be safe, but thanks to the illegal border crossings has now run rampant in her state. On a countrywide basis, we have people who cannot afford Thanksgiving turkeys. The cost of them has gone so high. They can't pay their gas and electric bills. They cannot buy gas. They cannot buy food the way they used to at the grocery store. And we are supposed to give a damn whether somebody's calling her the B word or difficult, and we don't. She doesn't get it. No one gives a damn about these non-problems. She should stop complaining and start showing some gratitude for what appears to be a very beautiful life about which she finds nothing to celebrate.
And is this someone who purports to be a humanitarian? Someone who actually, and I know you think it's far-fetched, but genuinely believes that one day she will run for the Democratic nomination to be the President of the United States. But she doesn't talk about those issues that you point out are going on in California. She talks all about the problems of a multi-million-pound celebrity.
She does have a big platform, and she could use it to shine a light on some of these problems. All about her. The word diva, the word B, the B word, all the things that have been said about her, a tiger lady, the angry black woman, every single stereotype that she allegedly falls into. How aggression is bad. These are all the things that she thinks people think of her, and she's trying to go on a self-rehabilitation tour without realizing we don't care. Shut up. Stop talking about yourself. Show some humility and some gratitude.
While Megarella and the Dupe preached compassion, they showed none to dying grandparents. The pair went on national TV and accused the royal family of racism and neglect while the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh and grandfather lay dying in hospital. They whined about their lives being miserable in the midst of the pandemic, as the world lost lives in large numbers. Megarella had no compassion for her father when he lay in hospital with a heart attack and stroke. She never visited him.
The royals own me. Harry owes me. Meghan owes me. What I've been through, I should be rewarded for. They talk about compassion. There's no compassion for me. There's no compassion for my family. And there's no compassion for the royals.
never invited him or her family to the royal wedding. She cut them off and went ahead to lie to the media that she had no family.
I grew up as an only child, which everyone who grew up around me knows. And I wished I had siblings. I would have loved to have had siblings.
Claim was clearly false. She has a biological sibling.
Again, Jack, another person who has little credibility is Meghan Markle. She's the Duchess of Toxicity. No one can stand her. She has enemies lining up in the streets virtually. She's got so many people that she's fallen out with. And I think it's a real problem for her. She's fallen out with her father. She doesn't talk to her half-sister. She's got a string of relatives she's got nothing to do with.
Megarella's family members have never met Has the Dupe or the royal family.
At this point, they own me. The royals own me. My daughter told me that when I reach my senior years, she'll take care of me. I'm in my senior years now. I'm 75 years old, so it's time to look after Daddy.
And now for a few of our favorite one-offs, like Tom through college at Northwestern University. Thomas claims that's simply not true.
I paid for college, and it took me years to get it paid off. To hear, that I'm ghosted and I don't exist, and she did this on her own, is very hurtful.
Megarella is specially credited with race baiting, trying to ignite race wars, influence peddling, while alleging she was targeted for being black. This was the same woman who identified as Caucasian on her acting bio for years. She became black only when it suited her purposes.
My name is Iman Aiton.
Stop killing the man then!
I started BRM, the Black Reformist Movement. I am very much focused on institutionalized racism.
They were concerned that if you were too brown, that would be a problem. Are you saying that?
I wasn't able to follow up with why, but if that's the assumption you're making, I think that feels like a pretty safe one.
She said to Oprah Winfrey her son had not been made a prince because of his skin colour. Absolute lie.
Okay, so this is what,
The lie.
by virtue of the fact that you've come out with that opinion or thought, shows me that you have a very rudimentary understanding of racism. So let me break it down to both of you. The reason why institutions are able to perpetuate racism is because they rely heavily on covert racism, which is hard to prove, therefore it thrives. Let me just break it down some more because you clearly don't understand.
My point about Meghan and Harry, they say all this stuff without producing any evidence
And you wouldn't
to
let me
support
finish.
it.
But you wouldn't let me finish. I've already just explained to you. Covert racism is racial prejudice that is subtle and discreet.
But you
and
have
it
to
is
prove it.
Now hold on a second. No, but this is the issue.
You
with
can't
covert
say my
racism.
son wasn't made a prince because of his skin.
It's honestly, you're such a liar and a disgrace.
Yeah, you're about to do the same thing. I'm giving you the platform. You talk about the interview. You trash me every time you come on.
You bring out coverage about Meghan and Harry on their wedding day and the engagement, but conveniently forget to show the coverage before they got engaged, between the engagement and the marriage. So you conveniently forget that Prince Harry, November 2016, talked about the racist undertones of the media. You conveniently forget all of that to paint this picture that all was rosy and hunky-dory. Nonsense. And then you are lording over the Queen. Listen, by all means, let's applaud the Queen when she does something right. But when she does something wrong, we need to call her out.
What did she do wrong?
What kind of grandmother would be so close to her grandson, Harry, but then not use her power and influence as Queen to protect them from the racist media coverage.
I find what you're saying about the Queen actually disgraceful. I find what you're saying, you're entitled to your opinion, Shola. I find, sorry, no, I'm allowed to respond to what you've just said.
Is rooted, listen, you might learn something. The royal family as an institution is rooted in colonialism, white supremacy, and racism. The legacy is right there. So you're now surprised that a comment would have been made by several members of the royal family about how dark Archie's skin is.
It's not several members, actually. No, you can't spew lies.
All right. Harry and Meghan.
Are we allowed to engage in any of this?
Let me finish.
Well, you're not stopping.
Outraged that Harry and Meghan had the audacity to speak that truth than you should be at the actual outrage of racism.
Right, okay. Am I allowed to respond to this?
You can respond now.
Okay, I think what you just said about the Queen is disgusting. I think it's unbelievable. You talk about the behaviour of a 19.
Am I lying when I said that?
Allow me to say what I'm. Allow me to explain.
And the institution is protected.
Allow me to defend our royal family. Thank you.
You tell me.
Right.
In the Oprah interview, you accuse members of your family of racism. You don't even.
Well, British press said that.
Right.
Did Meghan ever mention they were racist?
She said there were troubling comments about Archie's
there was
skin
concern about his skin colour.
Right. Wouldn't you describe that as essentially racist?
I wouldn't.
Okay, so what I will say is I will happily and humbly accept the defeat when it comes to them being called liars. They have proven themselves to be liars.
In between their tall tales, they clamor for privacy and trash the royal family for millions of dollars. Is this treason, slander, or worse?
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry hit with boos and some cheers as they made their
Fans and critics are getting fed up with the outrageous conduct of Megarella and the abdicated Duke. Some notable media critics have called them out for being sanctimonious and hypocritical. But the ex-royals hit back at their critics with a vengeance. They influenced job losses, made tacky TV shows, paid for bot tracking campaigns, race-baited, publicly trashed and disowned their families. While the ex-royals currently live in their Monty City mansion, their hopes are set on trading more scandals for cash. The big question is, how low will they stoop, in search of fame and fortune?
Harry, what do you think about destroying the royal family? Meghan, you can destroy the family!
Are you harming your family, Harry?
And Meghan, Harry's something to your brother.
You have a message to your family, Harry.
Harry, are you putting money before family?
She returned her wedding rings to me by FedEx.
كانت ترتدي حلقة الماسية الملطخة بالدماء بقيمة $650,000.
She claimed she was an only child. I am her sister.
Sy het haarself Nelson Mandela genoem.
She called me baby brain.
She called us racist.
She demanded a different tiara. She made the bridesmaids cry.
She made me lose my job.
She told us she was white.
She claims she's 43% Nigerian.
She will make a joke of you and the royal family heritage.
What Meghan wants, Meghan gets.
There were a lot of porcupines probably told to the royals and even to Harry when they met her.
Arrest me.
Megs, are you ready? I am eating my last sausage. Revenge on Willie the Heir. Can't be late for the show.
I am putting tears on my face. Wow, don't I look like Godzilla?
Who is there?
111, 110, 111, 110.
The police.
What do you want? Wrong address?
Arrest warrant for Megarella.
Open the door. Open the door or we bust it open.
I am a duke, with my princess, my new mummy.
Officer Hawk, 1023.
Megarella, you are under arrest as a threat to national safety.
I am a duke,
You
with
have
my
the right
princess,
to remain
my
silent.
new mummy.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney.
Y'all racists. Treating me like a black woman. Racists, 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 racists. SSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSSssss.
Post 100. Officer Hawk. Officer Hawk here. Do you read me?
Reading you 5. Reading you 5.
Code 4 over.
Am not going to jail. Am not going to jail.
Megarella, 1066. Biracial female, 40s. Under arrest. Over and out.
Behind me is a James Bond type scene. But this is no movie scene. Police just arrested Megarella on charges of endangering national safety. We'll keep you updated as this story unfolds.
Get me out of here. I am a duchess. Get me out of here. I am a duchess.
The police are bonkers. They just arrested Megs, my princess. We were preparing to go stage our show at Palace Theatre. What happened to diplomatic immunity? The police are bonkers. They just arrested Megs, my princess. The police are bonkers. They just arrested Megs, my princess.
Don't you know I intend to fight until I become Queen of the United Kingdom? I will sue y'all racists.
police are bonkers. They just arrested Megs, my princess. We were preparing to go stage our show at Palace Theatre. What happened to diplomatic immunity?